already say it's connected. All right. Hey guys,
Right.
hey, welcome to KINB Designs podcast. I'm
Thank
gonna tell you guys
you.
about KINB Designs. It's a printing company focused on empowering others through unique designs and custom creations, reminding people that no matter what, they are kind, intelligent, never alone. They are brave. And October the 19th, we will be doing an event called Break the Silence, Healing the Broken Heart. Basically telling people nope to defeat. Like you can feel defeated, but we not gonna be defeated. Nope to defeat. And we have this wonderful, fearfully, wonderfully made Miss Darlene Stokes with us. And she's actually
All
gonna talk
right.
about her heart and what happened to her when she had the heart stroke. And I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell us about it, Miss Darlene.
All right. Good afternoon, all. Yes, I just wanted to talk about my heart attack. Um, it happened on June the 24th, 2014, where unexpectedly I was in the house. I was laying down. My grandson came in. I was unresponsive. They got the neighbor. The neighbor came and did CPR on me for 5 to 7 minutes to bring me back. And then I went to the hospital. Then when I got to the hospital, I didn't remember much once I got to the hospital because the next day the lady came and asked me, did I remember seeing her in the emergency room? And I didn't. So I was in and out of that experience. But glory to God, He brought me through it. So I just wanted to share my story because I realized that it's not a lot of believers. A lot of people don't believe in God. And our testimonies will help people be believers that are not. Hopefully, prayerfully, some believer would say, wow, if God do that, I want to trust him. So hopefully that will happen. That's what I hope to really get at it is somebody be saved today, and give their life to God. So talking about the heart attack experience, in my experience, uh, I know that a lot of people are walking around very angry, you know, and if your heart is not right, now, if you're going to talk about getting a relationship with God, you have to work on getting your heart right, you know, and all these dysfunctions and all these things that we experience in our families is because a lot of people are broken. A lot of people are broken, and some choose not to do their work to get themselves together. But hopefully, some will. Okay, and some people are now doing that. So with the trauma and all of that, even in our lives, you know, we don't even really know. I know I don't. Let me speak for myself. I still don't really know of some of the trauma and traumatic events that I had in my life, which ones am I still being affected by? But I know
Right.
they're not all, I'm not fully healed. I know that, and I can tell that by my behavior and the way I do things and how I pay attention to other people, by
Yeah,
paying
it's a journey.
attention. Excuse me?
It's a journey. It's not a destination. Healing
Yeah,
is a
it's a
journey.
journey. Yes, it's a
Mm-hmm.
journey. So you have people in your life, families, friends, whoever, and sometimes if you pay close attention by the things that's happening to other people, because some things that happen to me, it's not for me. It's for somebody else. Okay? And some things that happen to somebody else don't have to be for them, it could be for somebody else. So I pay close attention to people that I interact with. You know how people say, well, that person, this, that, and the other. I try not to judge people, but I pay attention. And I pay attention, close attention, because I'm trying to watch my energy. Your energy got to match my energy. Okay? I've learned that
Mm-hmm.
through my pain and my suffering and, you know, family, all that trauma, all of that
Right.
comes into play. So with your heart, if you don't have it right, you make decisions off your brokenness. Okay? That's how you make your decisions. And if you're angry, you're not making the right decisions either because you're angry, you're holding something against someone, and that interferes with whatever you're trying to do in life. You take it to work, you take it to school, you take it wherever you go, it goes with you. It don't go away. You know, you can't separate anger if you're in a position where you're angry. It goes with you everywhere, and you carry that. So people are being affected because I can say that because at one time in my life I was a very angry person, very angry, and it didn't feel
Mhm.
good. I didn't like
Yeah.
how it felt. And when I paid attention now to how it made me feel, I checked myself because I didn't want nobody feeling. Nobody should have to feel what I felt. And you make people feel what you feel when you're broken and you're angry. People feel that energy, you know,
Mhm.
and people are affected by that. So I can't say that I'm a woman of God and I'm not paying attention to my relationship with God. If I'm not trying to please God and keep Him happy and pay attention through the Holy Spirit, what changes I need to make to please God? Because only what you do for God is gonna last. Okay, so the heart thing is the thing where people don't realize that you can't live without a heart. You
You
can't live
can't.
without a heart. People think, they got this, that, the other. Their heart could be messed up because they got all these blessings coming. They must be doing the right thing.
Mhm.
False. Further from the truth. Okay?
Right.
So my heart experience 10 years is 10, June the 24th this year made 10 years. It taught me that I had
Wow.
to make a lifestyle change with a lot of things, especially my diet. That was one that I really took very
Right.
serious.
Yeah.
Exercising, I didn't take it as serious as I should have, but years later I did take it on a little bit. At the beginning I didn't. I was more focused on what I was eating because I was eating all of the wrong things. The wrong
I think
food,
all
the
of us
wrong
do that.
yeah, the
Mhm.
wrong food, the wrong snacks,
Since
the
your heart
wrong drink.
since your
So,
heart stroke, what like was it certain things that you cut out to stop eating so to prevent it? Like, can you prevent so
well,
eating prevents you from having
it's
another heart stroke?
oh yeah, I cut out soda. I used to drink soda. I cut that out. Well, I'm six
Okay.
years in on not eating any meat. I haven't eaten meat in 6 years. I cut the
Oh
meat out.
wow.
Yeah, I'm 6 years.
Awesome.
February 4th made 6 years. I I went over to salads and things and tuna and things like that. Those are the things that I changed and I stuck with. I stuck with those
Okay.
things. But the sugar, I wasn't really a sugar fan because I didn't really drink sodas that much after that happened. So even with my tea, my herbal teas and things, I don't put sugar in my tea. I use honey.
Okay.
So that was another change that I made. Even though I used to use the sugar before, sometimes, but after that, I don't use sugar at all. At all. So when I taste
Okay.
something sugary, it really tastes more sugary than it really is. Because I don't really use sugar.
Okay.
So
The sugar
it
can
got me to
contribute to like heart strokes and stuff, right?
yeah, it can, and not only that, you can with the I had to watch the pasta and the rice because I'm a rice lover. And those things with the diabetes, I didn't want to get diabetes, so I had to watch my intake of the starches, in moderation to do those. So if I be honest with you, when I first started out, I was really scared, and I really stuck with it for a while. But then after I guess I felt like I'm doing good, I would cheat a little bit, So
Right.
but not to the point where I would say that it would cause me a heart attack or a stroke again. Not to that point. When I say cheat again, I mean I would have my ice cream and my cookies and all that nonsense that I
That's
shouldn't
what
have
I
had.
learned. You gotta be consistent. Once you get there, you be like, all right, I'm good, I'm fine. Like, cause I had lost 65 pounds and
Oh
I was on a
wow.
weight loss journey and I had lost the 65. So once I lost it, I was like, all right, I'm good. I changed the way I ate. I changed what I drank. I took out sodas. But once I lost the 65 pounds, I had end up gaining it all back because I wasn't consistent. Once you make that
Right.
style change, you got to stick with it and
You
stay
have to.
consistent with it. Did you have
Yeah.
any like signs or symptoms that happened before, like that you knew that you was about to have a heart stroke, or you just had no idea, it just came?
No, I didn't. The only thing I can say from that is I think my heart attack was more of a stress thing. I was stretched out. I had moved down to Maryland um in December 13th, 2013. And I had the heart attack in June 20. Only 6 months later I had a heart attack. So no. I think it was stress. I was stressed out because one of my sisters wouldn't let me see my father. And I hadn't seen my father in when I got down here
Mm,
and I went to see my father see him after not seeing him for 3 years. So I was stressed out about that. So my daughters told me to come move down to Maryland, and I made up my mind to come
mm-hmm.
down because it happened so quickly after I left New York. So I think that had some kind
Right.
of bearing. I don't know if it was because even the doctors were saying that with the heart attack, mine was kind of different because I didn't have any blockages or anything. A lot of people, when they have a heart attack, they have blockages that they have to get opened up. They have to have surgery to open those things
Mm.
up.
And you
And
didn't have
I didn't
any.
have any of that. I didn't have that.
Mm.
So that's what made me believe my more stress related. So yeah,
Stress.
when we have to learn that our loved ones, our friends, whoever we interact with, that we should be kind, compassionate, loving. Nobody owns
Mm.
anybody. We don't have to do. You know, be kind one to another. That's what kind one to another. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm
'Cause
a
everybody
very
going through
loving,
something.
kind, compassionate.
Yeah. I think everybody should spread kindness and do acts of kindness and be compassionate and loving, because you never know what somebody's going through, what they're experiencing, what type of day they having. We actually have a shirt with Nope Distress too, with Can Be Designs.
People see that. People, yes. So hello.
Still here.
No.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, you are.
Yep.
Everybody.
You back. Sorry. At first, I was like, "Is it my internet?" You waiting? Let's see what happened.
Good afternoon. Now you big. It says "Ooh, connection lost." Always reconnecting.
Hey, I think we
You can hear me
back.
now. Oh
Yeah, I can
yeah,
hear you
I had
now.
to, okay. I had to hang up on a person. So yeah.
All right, yeah, because if you get a phone call, it's going to go out.
Um, I kind of lost. Yeah, yeah.
You was talking about
So
people being
yeah.
kind, compassionate, and loving.
Yes, I was being kind one to another, and people are walking. A lot of people. We all are walking around broken. Not everybody, but for the majority of us, I had a lot of traumatic experiences in my life. You know, and when I look back down my family tree, a lot of it is a lot of drinking and carrying on, a lot of alcoholism,
Hmm.
a lot of anger, not talking. And those are curses that I'm praying off, trying to pray off now, because it's still, it goes back for a lot of generations, and not only that, it's still active today in many of our lives.
It
Okay,
is.
so I stopped with the alcohol and the drinking 20 years, 23 years for both of them. I
That's
decided to be,
good.
yeah, to be the one to break that, to try to
Yes.
break that off of our family. I did not want to come continue to live my life with a substance that was kind of taking control of me and changing my personality.
Right.
Because when you do all, it changes your personality. Some people want to think it
Hmm.
doesn't, but for me, it did. For me, it did.
Yeah. Because drinking can have different effects and open up different doorways and have different effects on each and every person. Some people can just go to sleep. Some people get real angry. It depends on the person, but it's definitely a different effects from drinking alcohol on each person. How do you
Right.
how do you reduce your stress? Like how what kind of things do you do to not have stress? You back?
Yeah, I'm back. I saw it again and said, "Oops." Reconnected. You was going to say
I was
what was you
saying
going to ask me?
what activities or what do you do to not to reduce stress in your life? To I know people be like, don't stress over, but how do you not stress over things?
I read the Word of God. I listen to gospel music. I pray. I meditate. Those are the things that keep me in my peaceful place. Yeah,
Yeah, I love all those things. I do the same
and I
thing.
learned not to be.
Everybody calling her phone, guys. Mm-mm. We gonna wait a couple minutes.
You back?
Look, we back.
We're back. Yes,
Look, it's fine.
yes, yes.
um, Look, that's how it be when you not doing nothing at all, nobody don't call you. But then as soon as you doing something, everybody call you.
Everybody want to call. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I be like, dang, I don't get no phone. As soon as I let my baby hold my phone, that's when my phone goes up. I'm
It
like, I don't get
blows
this
up.
many phone calls.
My goodness. Yeah. So what else? What else you have?
um, Anything else you would like to say? That's
Yeah.
all.
Well, I would like to say my advice to the people is for them to do the work that they need for themselves. We cannot have a relationship with anybody until we have a relationship with ourselves first. And a lot of people are avoiding that because they don't want to deal with the pain or the trauma or whatever it may be. They think it's too painful. But it's more painful to walk around angry, you know? So
Mhm.
do you, because you clearly can't do people angry. Nobody wants that energy around them. Okay? And you want to do
Nobody.
you for yourself. And that's a lesson that I learned after my heart attack was to take my focus over worrying about how everybody else feel, worrying about if I'm accepted by this family member and that family member. I found out that that's not important. If I can't take care of me, it's
Mhm.
none of that's important. I already had a heart attack. I'm
Right.
not trying to have another one. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm trying to live. You want everybody want to live, so do I. So I would
Yes.
advise people to strongly do their work. Don't think it's too hard. It may hurt. You may have to drop tears. You have to do whatever you may have to
Mhm.
do, but do your work so you love yourself. I learned that the hard way. I wasn't loving myself. And I when I pray now, I still pray for God's forgiveness for me letting people feel my anger. Because now you know what? I'm not angry anymore, but I'm feeling other people's anger. Okay? So now I
Mhm.
really know how it feels. I really know from both sides. Okay? And I don't want people
Right.
to feel anything negative from me because I can't deal with what happened to me. Okay?
Yeah.
So
We
people,
gotta
people need
sanctify
to,
that anger.
yes. And there's so many people in my family that's angry, you know, and a lot of families have angry people in their family, you know. But
Mhm.
you have to communicate. If you don't communicate, nobody knows why you're angry.
Right. Nobody
How is
knows. We
somebody
not
gonna know
psychic.
why
We
you're
can't read
angry
your
if
mind.
you're not communicating? So we need to
Yeah. I think that's
communicate
the number one
well,
problem. And
right?
that could contribute to stress. You're so angry, so now you stressed out because you're angry, and nobody knows why you angry or how to help you. And we gotta learn how to communicate to people and how can they help us. Like we could be mad, and like I could be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so upset because I'm doing laundry all the time." But and even though I voice that I'm doing laundry all the time, I'm sick of doing laundry, blah blah blah, and I'm angry about it. I have to be able to communicate that and tell people like, "Hey, look." Whoever I'm with, like, hey, look, can you do a load of laundry, like,
Right,
and don't be
right,
so prideful to not ask for help. I think that can reduce anger and stress too, because it's like we don't communicate what we want and our needs to
right,
people, so that we on how they can help us. We just be so quick to be angry instead of telling them like, hey, this is how you can help me, like, so I don't be
right,
angry anymore. And
right,
if they don't want to help you, then they can just get out your face, I guess.
right, right, right. At least let the person know why you're
um,
angry. So that if it's fixable, you can fix it. But if people don't know what tell you why, you can't fix it. You really can't fix
you
it.
can't fix it.
You know,
Yeah,
and
and that's why you just
I don't
gotta
want
say
to make
no to
nobody
stress.
right. I don't want to make nobody feel no kind of way because I didn't take care of what I needed to take care of. Okay, so
Oh, and before I forget, we know you. I know you are writing a book, and I'm going to help you with that process. But tell us
yeah,
what your book going to be about. Can you?
my
Are
book
you?
is
Do
about
you
my
want?
heart attack. So I'm sorry.
about your. I said, are you okay with telling us about what your book will be about?
Oh yeah, I'm okay with it. So I wrote my book during the pandemic. That's when I did it. I started it and finished it during the pandemic. So my book is about it's a book about it's inspirational and it's about healing. So I have Bible scripts in it. I have
Mm.
songs that I listen to that uplift my spirit. I have those in there, and I put a scripture on every page when I made my titles for my book. Say like I put about the heart. I put in I said example here. When I talked about my heart in here, I put uh Psalms 51:10, creating me a clean heart and renew the right spirit within me. So I put that on that page with a heart. So whatever the page was pertaining to, I found a scripture to match to put on the top where the page starts at, you know.
I
So
like
I
that.
that and I think people will enjoy it. I think people will read it. I think it will save
I think they
people.
will too.
I think people will be encouraged, my about my testimony,
Mhm.
about my heart attack, and how God has brought me through all of that. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to get it published because I know it's so needed.
It
It's
is.
needed.
I think
It's
it is
needed.
very
We
needed.
need.
You're
It's
telling your
needed.
story. It's very needed to let people know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
Um, because we can be going through things and we thinking we the only one going through it. Like even when by me having multiple children, and I tell people like once I start talking about my kids, they be like their kids do it. I'm like, oh, I thought my kid was the only one doing it, and it just makes me know like, all right, I'm not a good parent. They like their kids doing the same thing to them or something like that. Like, so I think it's good to talk amongst each other
Right.
and communicate with different people because then it allows them to know they're not alone. Then you learn new things. Like somebody else could I'll be out there had a heart stroke and this could be helpful for them to know like what like eating healthy can prevent a heart stroke,
Right.
reducing your stress and not being so angry and communication. I think these are all helpful
Right.
for somebody. And even with somebody that didn't have a heart stroke, like, to prevent from having one, it's like you shouldn't be walking around angry all the time or stressed out.
Right. Right. So yeah, and one of my things was when I was writing it, it was like because I kept feeling that when I in my era when I grew up, I'm 71 years old, and when I grew up and I went to church, I joined church when I was 16, and back in New York, and when I was going to church, we had testimony time every Sunday before service.
Hmm.
Everybody that wanted to testify had an opportunity to testify. Now today, they don't, in a lot of churches, they don't do that anymore. So I feel that people that if you want people to be a believer, you have to give them something to go on. Okay? So they could just happen to be in church one Sunday and somebody gets up and testify. And whatever they're they can maybe relate to whatever that person is testifying about, and it can help
Hmm.
them on their journey, whether they want to speak about it or not. It'll make them say, something that make you go, I can relate to that. So people
Right.
need to hear those things so it can build up their faith in God to 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 want to share their testimony. So I feel and I tell people that we need that back into the churches. We really need that back. That should be going on every Sunday because somebody that's not a believer and they see me, it was 5 to 7 minutes before that man got me to come back through CPR, and the doctors were saying
Wow.
that it had to be gone. My cardiologist today that I got that then he told me, he said, you know what? God has angels around you. People usually don't go through that and don't be brain dead. 5 to 7
Wow.
they
God is
said
good.
5 minutes is the top. After 5 minutes your brain could go
Wow.
dead. So that was God in
Woo.
that. So he kept me here
That was
for a
nothing but the
reason.
Lord.
That was nothing but
Yeah.
God. So yeah, I wanna always talk about the heart because that came from my heart, not doing the things that I needed to do, and it got overwhelmed and it couldn't take it. Okay,
Yeah.
so we get stressed
Right?
out and or we could eat the wrong things and give us a heart attack. There's a lot of things that could come into play that can give us a heart attack. But I'm grateful, I'm thankful, I'm blessed that God has really kept me here. And I realized that He didn't keep me here for me. He has work for me to do, and that's why I wrote the book. Because that was the first thing that came to my mind was that people need to hear testimonies. People don't hear testimonies today like we did back in the day. So if somebody say, and you don't have to be in the church to give your testimony. People that I talk to, I tell them when they tell me their story, like a girl I was talking to yesterday, I said that's a testimony. That's a testimony.
Yep.
You have to share that
Yeah.
because you don't know who that's going to help, but it's going to help somebody.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm on this
And I
line
learned that
today. I'm
this
hoping.
year. I learned that
I'm
this year
sorry.
that you don't have to go to church. I learned that this year that you don't have to go to church in order to share your testimony. Like,
No,
I always thought that you had to go to church to, you know, do anything, but you don't. Like, you could just be walking down the street.
I don't think you have to go to. I don't go to church, and I haven't been looking for one yet. But I found out through my experience that as long as you got the word of God, and you don't need a building, unless you get the right
Mm-hmm.
building where you being fed properly. Okay, I had a lot of bad experience
Yes.
with churches, but it don't mean that it's not one out there that I can go to. And I just haven't found it yet. And if I find it, I probably would. I miss getting up, going to worship service. You know, so that book is
Yeah.
based on people watching people, seeing people not being able to go through whatever they're going through, not able to get through because they're not trusting God and they're not a believer. Okay,
Right.
so if they hear it, when I was going out a lot, when I first got my transportation from Maryland Transit, I have the little bus and I also have a taxi service. But on the bus, when I would go out in the morning, I would pack up a little bag with the the uh the book. What is the name of that little book everybody gives out? Oh man, I used to order it from the got the name of the little book, but anyway, I would put the book in it, and it had every day it had something to read, scriptures to read, and a story behind it. And then I would put like a Nagola bar or something in there, and I would give it to my driver and people on the bus. And that was so rewarding for me because I don't know what people are going through, but I realized when I was on that bus, so many people are attracted to me because of my personality that them young girls would tell me
Yeah.
all their business, and I just met them because they felt my
Mm-hmm.
spirit. They felt that they can trust me, and that made me say that I'm going to share that information with them. And I would tell them I don't do anything without mentioning God, because without Him, I'm nothing.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to
Yes.
keep Him in the loop. And I have to let people know that it's Him. It's not me that brought me through. It's Him that allowed me to write that book. Because it wasn't easy. Because I talked about a lot of things that happened to me in the different titles that I had. And I had to put the book down at some points. I couldn't write it, or I had to get off because I was overflowed with tears. And some of them tears were tears of joy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't all sad
Yeah.
tears, but it was very overwhelming because I had a traumatic experience as a child. I was the oldest sister, and a lot of that responsibility fell on me. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just Katrina. I'm very grateful to be here 10 years later after the heart attack, and God is still able to. I'm still no. I'm still able to still trust God. I'm still able to search the scriptures. I'm able to know that I need to correct something about me. I'm able to do those things. I'm able to stay in my peaceful place platform that I made for myself. Okay? No matter what's going on around me. I can stay in my peaceful place. And that's because I took care of me. Okay? I
Yeah.
decided to love me and me first. I decided to set boundaries for myself.
Yes.
Sometimes you give family a pass because they're your family, but your boundaries should be set for everybody.
Because it should be set for everybody.
No,
Yeah.
no
And your
exceptions.
family can be a dysfunctional family.
Everybody. That's what I am in a. I don't have to stay dysfunctional that they need. I had to take care of me. And a heart attack, yeah, yourself. Can't nobody do it
Yep.
for me. Nobody could do it for me.
And I think that's
I had to love
I
me
think
enough
everybody
to
should
do it for
remember that.
me. Yeah.
Yes. Everybody should
So
remember
I
that.
just
Take care of yourself
right.
first.
Yes, we must keep ourselves first. If not, if you start letting people walk over you and you let them realize, let them know that you think they're gonna stop. No, they're not gonna stop. You stop them with your
Hmm.
boundaries.
And if you
You
don't
stop them and right in their
stop them
tracks.
with your boundaries, then it becomes a preference. So a boundary, you
Right,
basically standing on whatever you said, and you have to figure out how, like, if they're not going to, if you say you don't like this and they're continuing to do it, then what's the next step? Are you going to cut them out your life? Like, what are you going to do next? Because if you continue to allow it, now it's not even a boundary no more. It's just a preference. So
right,
you got to figure out how to just cut it off or be done with them because they're not respecting you at this point when you already said this is my boundary.
right. So you cut them off because the energy is not matching. The energy is not matching, so you
Yep.
have to cut them off. Family members included. I was listening to this radio host in New York some years ago, and it's been many years ago. And one day she was closing out the radio show, and she said, sometimes you have to put people in the balcony because they don't deserve to be in the audience. And that stuck with me. That stuck with me. You do have to put some people up there and leave them there because
Hmm.
they're not trying to do better, and they can't. They really give you what you need if they're not taking care of themselves. They have to take care of
Yeah.
themselves before they open. You can't give nobody what you can't give yourself.
Right.
So
You
yeah,
can't.
I'm praying that my book will be an inspiration to people to draw nearer to Christ.
Yes.
Excuse
I
me.
love it. I
Yeah.
love everything about your book. I love that you
Yeah.
came and you are able and comfortable to tell your story because there's so many. I heard this one guy say, everybody, it was a preacher, he was preaching, and he was saying that it was so many people inside the graveyard with untold stories. And I was like, it really is like everybody has a story, and nobody will never know them. Oh, she went out. We've been sorry guys, we've been having all these technical difficulties. Hey. Look, this phone won't let us be great, but this was a true definition. I think this whole time when we did this podcast, it was a true definition of nope to defeat. You see how many times we done went out. Look,
Yeah.
we gonna say our story, and we will not be defeated.
Yeah.
Nope to
Yeah.
defeat, guys.
Yeah. So I have heard
um,
people say, don't go out of this world with your story still inside you. I have heard people say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so true. It's so true. And so many like I know people personally and they didn't told me their stories and I'm like, why don't you write a book? They're like, no, I don't want nobody to know. They don't want nobody to know it's them. They don't want nobody to see them in that light. They don't want, we all carry around probably secrets, and they don't want people to know their secrets. So they don't tell, and it's just like, dang, they're gonna go all the way to their grave with that, and won't, and it could inspire people, in general, like, cause or enlighten people that we didn't even know. I learned so much stuff this year and last year, and I be thinking like, wow, I feel like I'm old, but you're never too old to learn new things. You just should
That's
always have an
right.
open mind. And some things
Right.
I'd be like, I should have been known that, but I'm just learning it. And that's, give yourself grace for what you do know. What you didn't know, then, when you know better, you do better, I feel like. And I wish somebody would have told me to love myself first. I wish somebody would have said, set boundaries. But I know that now that I'm supposed to love myself and I'm supposed to set boundaries and take care of yourself. My mom used to always say, don't stress about things, don't stress about things. But she never told me how to not stress about things. So for to
Right.
have
Right.
people tell you like what to do, exercise, eat healthy, meditate, go, like these are things that you can do to reduce stress and anger. I used to be very angry when I was like in my teenage years, very angry,
Right.
and I didn't know why. And I just was just angry at everybody. And
Right.
then it's just like, all right, cool. Now I'm not. I'm very. I'm able to communicate how I feel and what I want. Like, this is not working for me. This is what we have to do. And then they
Right.
have to, match the energy, like you said, or they're gonna have to leave. And I think a lot of times we hold on to people because of the word family. But once we remove
Right.
those titles, people are just people, and then we can tend to stay in that cycle of a dysfunctional family because we
Right.
hold on to those titles of, that's
Yes.
my sister, that's my brother, that's my uncle, that's my
Right.
father, that's
Right.
my, and we holding on to that, but we not discussing what are they doing that is unhealthy and is hurting
Right.
our heart. And our heart, we can't
Right.
live without the heart, like
Right.
you said. And if it hurts your heart, you got to protect your heart at all costs, because we cannot live without the heart. So I'm so
Yes.
happy and grateful and honored that you were able to come on here and talk about your heart, because I really
Thank
like
you.
that we can't live without our heart, and you got to protect your heart, and you got to care for your heart and take care of your heart as if it was a garden and water
That's
your
right.
feed it healthy, water it.
Hmm.
um I like everything you said, as the heart. I think you're a very inspirational person, and
Thank
I
you.
am honored and blessed to know you.
I am saying that right
And
here.
have
And let me say this to
met
you too, Katrina. Don't feel like you did anything in your life too late. We know that God is an on-time God, and everything that happened happened when it needed to happen. Everything.
yes.
Everything happened when it needed to happen. It's no such thing as it should have happened before now. Because if it happened before, it probably would not have been God. You know, God is an on
Yeah.
time God, and God is a God of order, divine order.
Yes.
And if we want our life to go in order, it has to be Him that directs us, not us feel like. Because when we say things like that, we feel it makes me feel that we're saying something like, you know, God don't have a plan for our lives, and He does. And when everything
And
needs
God
to happen, it's
does.
going to happen in His time. We can reflect
Yeah.
and, when we think about our pain, but, we're on the road to healing now. So we're not going to think about our pain. We're just going to move forward in getting the help that we need to be healthy and whole. We want to be whole. That's our main objective, is to be whole and to be in a relationship with God that, you know, we know when He knows us and we know Him. A personal relationship, not a church going relationship because you go to church every Sunday. People go to church every Sunday, and some people don't have a relationship with God. Okay,
Yep.
so that's our main objective.
Some are
Never
being there for the
feel.
wrong reasons.
Yes, and it's everything
Yeah.
happened in this time in your life. Everything happened when it was supposed to happen in my life. You know, I just wanted to share that.
Yep.
You know?
Scripture you shared with me, 1 Corinthians 14:40. Let all things be
Yeah,
done decently and in order. And I
in
agree with
order.
that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. It's an order to everything, and everything is in God's plans. And I give God all the glory that we were able to we met at the right time.
Right.
We are able to be on this podcast at the right time. Our first one got delayed and
Yes, yes,
postponed, and I'm telling
yes,
you, oh, and that's one thing that we didn't mention is why it got delayed and postponed. And I'm telling you, you are a true definition of a walking note to the feet. And I am blessed that you are still here. And if you don't mind telling everybody, you had to go to the hospital when our first one got postponed, and tell us about that
yeah.
real quick before we let you go.
All right, I had the experience. I call them health challenges. I had a health challenge, and I had to go to the hospital. And it was the second time going back. I had pneumonia both times. Okay, when I went back, but the only difference with this time they found out that my it's nothing but the devil messing because the God is about to bless me in a big way. And he
Mm,
knows that he can't stop me from serving my Lord. Okay, that's what he
mm,
knows. So the second time around, not only with the pneumonia, they found out that my carbon monoxide level was very low, and they had to intubate
mm,
me. And I stayed in the hospital for, I think it was a week, 10 days, something like that. But the doctors, they were amazed because the first time I had all this fluid in my water in my lungs and around my heart, and they were saying that my heart and my lungs were fighting against each other, and they couldn't understand. They couldn't understand, but I understood that it was God at work. Okay, so I wasn't worried.
mm.
I didn't cry. I just prayed. See, when you can pray,
Yeah.
you know that you can pray and you can get an answer. What am I get myself upset for? I'm going to either trust him.
Mhm.
God has in the Bible, in scriptures, it says no man can serve. You can't be double minded. You cannot be double
Okay. Yeah.
minded. You cannot be double minded. You're going to believe it's going to happen or you're not. And I just always
Mhm.
trust God because He always comes through for me. So with the carbon monoxide thing, now I'm on the machine that I have to be on 4 hours a day. And this machine is supposed to push the carbon monoxide around in my body. So they won't have to do that
Mm.
again. And they also told me, which I'm not claiming, they told me I had COPD, and I told my daughter I don't think I have it. She seems to think I do, you know.
Don't claim it.
I'm not
We not
claiming. I don't care
claiming
what
it.
nobody. I ain't claiming what I don't care what
Because
nobody
it's
think. I ain't
power
claiming
in
that.
words and it's power in the tongue. Okay? I am healing.
And yeah, and I'm not claiming none of that on that. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm working on getting
Yeah.
back to myself so I can go home because I'm at my daughter's house and continue trusting God. So that experience, it was
Yeah.
a little different than the other one because I got the other machine and they put me on oxygen. First time when I went, I had oxygen in the hospital all along, but when I left the hospital, they told me I could use it as But what I did, when I got home, I joined the program in October when I came home the first time. And then when I joined the program, uh, 3 months later, I was off my water pills. I was off my oxygen. This time they left me on. So I'm on 2 liters, and that's, one is one, then it's two. So I'm right at the bottom there almost. So I'm waiting for my numbers to go up, and they are going up. They're going up. So that's a good sign that my numbers are going up. So eventually I go back to the
That's
doctor, the preliminary doctor in August. They are truly amazed with me. For my age and the things that's happening with me, most people won't survive, they say. You know why they won't? Because they don't trust God.
and that's what it is. You gotta trust God. Trust God.
Gotta
A
know.
lot of people
That's why I
be
like
like, "How
the
God be
91
the glory?"
Psalms is another
Yes,
one
we
of my
gotta praise
favorites.
Him. and honor
Yes,
God. I praise God that you are still here with us today to tell us your story. And yes.
yes. Thank you. Yes, yeah. It was nice. I'm glad we got a chance to do it. What you do,
Yes, we finally did
that's
it.
what.
No, everything
I
is
wish,
that today was the right time.
yes,
You
you
had to
had
go through that so you can tell that kid.
interview.
Look, add that in your book. Um, next,
Yeah,
hopefully we'll have this book out. When do you want to have your book published? Let's put a date on it so we can probably early
I'm trying to think about maybe.
2025 or this year in
I
2024.
think September. I don't want to give. I think I want to give it September 24th. Definitely. I don't want this year to and I don't have it done.
Okay, yep. So we're gonna get it done this year. So
I don't want
hopefully,
this year to
you
go
know,
out.
pray for.
2024.
Okay, we're gonna get it done for sure.
Yes,
And we're
yes,
gonna set up
yes,
a date where I can come and help you get all that done. We're gonna get it out there and done. So and you guys stay
yes,
tuned for Darlene Stokes book, and everybody make sure you guys go purchase it. I'll be posting it on my platforms. And we're going to see if we can probably get it on Amazon and everywhere, Walmart, all those good book places, and that way we'll let you guys know once
yes.
we get it published. And I'm excited. Thank you so much, Miss Darlene. I hope you have a great birthday weekend. Happy birthday again. And enjoy your weekend, enjoy your day. And it's nice talk. It was nice.
Yes, thank you too. Love you, Katrina.
Love you. It was a pleasure. Bye.